everybody, welcome to Faculty Promotion video number 4B. This one is actually going to be on performance effectiveness agreements. Unfortunately, the external service one took up the whole amount of time I had to kind of go over everything for you. So we got bumped to another video for this particular one, but this one should be significantly shorter. Anyway, so give me a second and we'll get started with performance planning agreements. Okay, in terms of your performance planning agreements, you need to provide the full signed document for the past 3 years. Now, I know this is going to seem kind of weird for you, but for those of you who are going up for the very first time, your current year, 2020-2021, you're going to do the initial document at the beginning of the year like we always do. And then you know how there is a mid-year PPE process sometime between November and the end of January? And then you do the final in May? Well, that's not how it works this time. You are actually going to be doing your PPE in the fall, and then sometime in January you will do your mid-year, and you are going to do your final year, and everything will be signed by you, your academic dean, and by the provost's office for the current year that you are in January. Okay, so I know that seems weird for those of you going up for the first time, but this is just how it happens. Your dean typically reaches out to you and lets you know about this process. And this is also when you go in for your final PPE in January. This is also the time that you want to bring those academic dean letters, like I showed you in the external service one. Okay, so you would want to bring those letters with you to this particular meeting to go over your final PPE for the year so that they can sign off on everything all at the same time. Now, I do want you to pay close attention. If you have had any notable deficiencies in any of these categories that have been mentioned, you're going to need to provide a narrative explaining why those deficiencies existed. And then you're also going to have to outline for us the corrective actions you've taken to improve in those areas. And then you're also going to need to ask your dean for a second letter explaining your present performance and how it has corrected these actual deficiencies. A good rule of thumb, though, for the PPE process is for promotion, you should be at a minimum of a meets for each of the years, okay? A meets or higher for each of your rankings. Anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with this. At the beginning of your year for promotion, I will request your PPEs from the Human Resources Office for you. Just like I did for your transcripts, I'm going to do the exact same thing for you for the PPE process. So what you will do is you'll notify me that you need copies of your PPEs from the previous 2 years. I will send out an email in early September to the HR department, and they will turn around and forward you your copies of your PPEs. Now, please note one very important thing. In terms of the transcripts, Nicole CCs me on those transcripts. However, I am not legally allowed to be CC'd on these for your PPE process because that belongs to you. When you choose to put it into your promotion binder, then I'm allowed to look at it because you're giving me permission to do so. But prior to that, I am not allowed to look at it unless you provide it to me to be able to see it. Okay? Anyway, so this one is really pretty simple for how it will look. You'll get your email from HR with your PPEs, and then you're going to have your 3 years. Academic year, we have to switch this one to 2020, 2021, and then this one will be 2019 through 2020, And then this one will be 2018 through 2019. Now, this is our current year while I'm making this video. This is next year, so I do not have access to this one or this one, but I do have my 2018, 2019. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I go about doing this process. So I'm going to delete out this part, because remember, green highlight means that you need to use the snipping tool. I'm going to put this over here on the left-hand side, and I am going to bring up my PPE from Human Resources from 2018 through 2019. I'm going to make this small so that you can see the whole thing. And I'm going to bring up my fancy snipping tool. Again, I come down here into the search box. I start to type in snip. It comes here. Oops, I had a previous one on there from the last video still. And we can get going. So, okie dokie. So I'm going to click New. I'm going to come here. I'm going to get my first page. There it is. I will then come up here to Copy, Edit, Copy. I'm going to click on Performance Planning, and I'm going to hit Control V for Paste. And there's my picture. I will then hit the Enter key to move down. And I'm going to come back to the documents. I'm going to scroll down to page number 2. I'm going to bring up my snippet tool. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do this. Again, come up to Edit, Copy. Come into Performance Planning. Paste. Hit Enter. Bring back up my PPE. Click New, Snippets, go up to Edit, Copy, Performance Planning, Paste. And it is really a very tedious process to go through it all, but this is how you go about putting in your PPE into your document. And you will do this for all 3 of your PPEs. I'm not going to put all of it in there, but I want to show you what you'll do next. After you have it in here, you'll click into the documents and just pull the 0 so that it's not 0, but the little toolbar, so that it's a little bit easier for us to read. And you'll literally go through the whole documents and copy and paste it into your file. And this is that process with the snippet tool, and it is going to become very much your friend. You will do this for 2018-2019, 2019-20, and 2020 through 2021. Okay? Up here, you might want to do a little bit of your a personal narrative if you would like, but you do not need to. Okay? That's pretty much it. Again, make sure you get rid of highlights and you are good to go. Thanks so much. And I will see you in training video number 5 in just a little bit.